the journey that PCS were already on was one about bringing communities together, and it's been extremely clear about its focus on why it exists, and it was about having that multicultural approach, even though it started off as Pakistan Cultural Society. And a lot of that is to do with Pakistanis being the largest minority within the West End, and that was the purpose that it set up. But over the years, of course, the West End and Newcastle has become so diverse that it extended its reach. So it was no longer just for people of Pakistani origin or people from Pakistan. It was a multicultural organization. I think for me personally, as a politician, I would say for myself, one of the biggest achievements was providing that safe space for people to come and enjoy and celebrate their own cultures and their own faiths and their own diversity and their own differences, without the fear of prejudice and without the fear of racism, without the fear of being labelled. And I think the future of PCS is going to be very different. And the reason I say that is we are now starting to talk about issues that we perhaps would never have talked about in PCS. So the environment, for example, I don't think we would have ever had a meeting talking about climate emergency, global warming. I don't think we would have done that. I'm not sure we would have talked about biodiversity. I don't think we would have talked about a waste strategy and how we engage with those services and what our thoughts are about this huge global issue that actually stems right down to your own households and our own behaviours and how we contribute to the environment. I'm not sure that we would have been talking about how we respond to, like you've just said before, like BLM, Black Lives Matter. I'm not sure that we would have done that in the past. And I think in the future, we as an organisation, I think there is an opportunity to engage with the council, for example, or other big institutions like that, to help shape some of their work from our experiences, because we are a BAME-led organisation. Our members are predominantly BAME. So I think that the future will look different for PCS, certainly in its delivery model, because the pandemic has taught us about having to use alternative methods in order to communicate, and Teams and Zoom is one of them. And I'm not sure that all of us can cope with that change, because PCS is all about meeting people and greeting people and all the rest of it. So I think that will be different. But I certainly do think that the cross-generational work is now going to become more of an issue of how do we do that. We don't want to lose our membership, who have now become the older membership, if you like. But we want their experiences to feed into our new cohort of members, which will be a lot younger. They'll be where the older members were decades ago, So we want to now restart that journey all over again. And it's about how we do that. And I think that the biggest challenge has been for PCS is austerity. So when we talk about big events, the biggest event in this for us was the change of government, because funding, as you know, was affected, and we've had millions and millions of pounds cut from the City Council, which affected our funding. The Arts Council, obviously, when they pulled the plug on funding because of that, had a huge impact on us. And for years, Sanam Saab and the other members, we still continued with the poetry events, for example, but they just all chipped in from their own pockets. We used to have the visa surgeries here, they chipped in from their own pockets, and they were just so keen to keep it going. I remember one conversation I said to Sanam Saab, I went, you can't keep doing this. This is not right. You can't keep doing this. We're going to have to think of another way. And he said to me, he says, Biffy, I just can't. Because once we stop, we'll just stop. It'll just go, and I can't let that happen. So there was that, commitment to PCS and keeping it going. But yeah, the future I think will look different, but we want it to look different in a good way. What I would leave the archive with is that it takes a lot of time and commitment and hard work to create something like PCS. But I think the one thing that we've all taken away from it is extremely fond memories beautiful memories of laughter and joy and tears and sadness, but everything, all of those emotions, I think we've all taken away something from it. And I think that is something that you can't write on paper. You know, that was the magic of PCS. And I think it'll stay with so many of us for so many years.